All right, so today we're going to get into something really powerful, really classic, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And looking at all your notes, it's pretty clear that you guys are after the real practical stuff, the how-to, not just the motivational fluff.
Right. And what's fascinating about Hill's approach, is how he goes beyond just work hard. It's like he digs into the psychology, even like the spiritual side of building wealth, almost creating a blueprint to rewire your thinking,
Yeah, totally. And speaking of blueprints, I'm seeing a ton of highlights here about the power of the subconscious mind.
Oh, yeah.
Like Hill's saying, it's this engine driving us towards what we truly believe, not just what we kind of wish for,
Exactly. He has this term autosuggestion, which is basically feeding your subconscious the thoughts, the beliefs that you want to see in your life. Like self-hypnosis for success, right?
Yeah, which is where I guess that whole visualize yourself already rich idea comes in.
Right.
Not just wishful thinking, but like imprinting that goal onto your subconscious. And I'll admit, that part's always seemed a little woo-woo to me, but the more I think about it.
Well, the interesting thing is if you look at modern research on, neuroplasticity, the power of habits, it kind of aligns with what Hill was saying. Our brains really can be rewired through repeated actions and thoughts.
Oh, that's a good point. So, okay, if we're buying into this subconscious being so powerful, then Hill's emphasis on having a definite purpose becomes even more crucial.
Absolutely. There's that question he poses to readers where, what is your burning desire? That's where it all starts. Until you've nailed down that core desire, nothing else he talks about will really click.
That makes sense, yeah. Okay, so we've got this burning desire fueling us, but Hill doesn't stop there. He brings up this idea of the mastermind, and I see you've marked that up a lot.
Yeah, the mastermind, it's all about that strategic collaboration, surrounding yourself with people who will challenge you, support you, creating that synergy to help you achieve more together.
He even had his own invisible council, right? Like his mental board of advisors made up of history's greatest minds.
It's such a cool concept. Think about it. If you could mentally consult with people you admire, what kind of wisdom could you gain? Who would be on your invisible council?
Okay, now that is a thought-provoking question.
Yeah.
But even with the right mindset, the perfect mastermind, Hill doesn't let us off the hook. He's big on turning thought into action.
Absolutely. He puts a lot of stress on having a written plan broken down into steps, taking that abstract desire and making it concrete, something you can actually work towards.
And this is where that story about Charles Schwab and U.S. Steel comes in. It's not just a success story. It's practically a masterclass in how a clear vision, a detailed plan, and, of course, persistent action can create massive results.
Yeah, and what's interesting about Schwab is that he was a master delegator. He knew his strengths, built a powerful team, focused on the big picture. It wasn't just about working hard, but about working strategically.
I love that. So it's not just about a to-do list, but leveraging your strengths, building a system that really works for you.
Exactly. And speaking of systems, Hill also dives into the importance of specialized knowledge, which, looking at your highlights, seems to resonate with you.
It does. And, in today's world, with information overload everywhere, it's tempting to think we just need to be generalists. Know a little about everything.
Right. But Hill argues that while a broad education is valuable, true success often comes from deep expertise in a specific area. He saw that specialized knowledge as the foundation for innovation and problem solving.
And he actually lists several sources for acquiring this specialized knowledge. Things like, formal education, mentorship, even good old-fashioned personal experience.
Yeah, it's like he's saying, don't just consume information passively, be a student of your craft, continuously learn, grow, refine those skills.
Okay, but what about the more, let's say, creative side of success? That spark of inspiration that leads to those groundbreaking ideas.
Well, that's where Hill's chapter on imagination comes in. He calls it the workshop of the mind.
And from what I see in your notes, you were really digging into this concept. I've always been fascinated by how some people just seem to, ooze creativity. Is that something you can actually learn?
Hill certainly thought so. He believed imagination was a skill that could be developed and refined just like any other. And he describes two forms of imagination. You have synthetic imagination, which is basically taking existing ideas and combining them in new ways. And then there's
creative imagination, right? That's the one that feels a little more mysterious. Where do those truly new ideas come from?
Hill describes it as tapping into a higher source of inspiration. He believed that immersing yourself in your field, surrounding yourself with creative people, even spending time in nature, could stimulate this kind of imagination.
So interesting. It's like he's saying, don't just sit in a room and expect inspiration to strike. You have to actively seek it out.
Exactly. It's about creating the conditions for creativity to flourish.
Man, this is already making me think about my own routines and how I could, shake things up a bit, be more deliberate about fostering those aha moments.
And that's precisely the kind of shift in thinking Hill was going for. He gives a bunch of examples of how imagination has been used to create wealth. The story of the Coca-Cola formula, the invention of the telephone,
Right. Good reminder that every groundbreaking invention, every successful business, every artistic masterpiece started as an idea in someone's imagination.
Absolutely. And it all ties back to Hill's core message, right? We have more power to shape our reality than we often realize. It starts with our thoughts, our beliefs, and the actions we take based on them.
Okay, so we've got the power of the subconscious, definite purpose, specialized knowledge, imagination. But let's be honest, sometimes even with all that, we need a little help. Which brings us back to that mastermind concept.
You're right. Hill saw the mastermind as more than just networking. It's about forming a true alliance with people who share your vision, who can offer different perspectives, skills, and support.
And this is where he talks about carefully selecting those members, right? Like building your own personal board of directors.
Exactly. He believed that the quality of the individuals in your mastermind group would directly impact your success. It's not just quantity, it's about finding the right people who can challenge you, support you, help you grow.
He even emphasizes the importance of having, clear goals and expectations for the group, right? It's about creating a structure that allows everyone to contribute effectively.
Yeah, it's like creating a mini ecosystem for success.
Yeah.
And Hill gives some great advice on how to do this effectively, from setting clear objectives to fostering open communication and mutual support.
It makes me wonder, if Hill was writing today, would he include the power of online communities, virtual masterminds?
It's a great question. He probably would. I mean, he was a master at adapting his principles to the times. But I think that core essence of the mastermind would remain the same. Finding your tribe of like-minded individuals who push you to be your best.
Yeah, absolutely. And this whole concept of the mastermind is just such a powerful reminder that we don't have to achieve our goals alone. It's about finding the right people to support us, challenge us along the way.
And that support can be especially crucial, when we hit those inevitable bumps in the road. Which brings us to one of Hill's most fundamental principles, persistence.
Persistence, yeah. The quality that separates dreamers from achievers, right? I mean, you've highlighted a ton on this. It's clear that Hill saw it as the cornerstone of success.
Absolutely. He calls it the endurance quality, the ability to keep going even when you face setbacks, rejection, the temptation to just give up. He believed that most people quit too soon, just when they're about to reach their breakthrough.
And he backs this up with stories like that one about the man who stopped digging for gold just 3 feet from a vein.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about a gut-wrenching lesson in not quitting prematurely.
Right. It highlights that hidden cost of giving up. Sometimes success is just around the corner, waiting for those who are willing to push through those difficult moments.
It makes you wonder how many times we've given up on something just before a breakthrough, right?
Yeah.
It's a sobering thought.
It really is. And it brings to mind another important point that Hill makes about maintaining a positive mental attitude even in the face of adversity. He believed that our thoughts have a powerful impact on our reality.
So it's about, replacing negative thoughts with positive ones, seeing challenges as opportunities for growth, not reasons to give up.
Exactly. And he actually identifies 6 ghosts of fear that haunt people. Things like fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of ill health. And he argued that these fears, they hold us back from pursuing our dreams.
So it's not just about being optimistic, but actively combating those negative thoughts that can, sabotage our efforts. And it seems like Hill believed faith was the antidote to this fear, right?
You're right. He saw faith as more than just a religious concept. It was a belief in yourself, in your goals, your ability to achieve them, even when you're faced with doubt and uncertainty.
He even suggests some practical steps to cultivate this faith, like using affirmations, visualizing your desired outcomes. It's fascinating how he blends this almost spiritual element with a very practical approach to success.
Yeah, it's what makes Hill's work so unique and so enduring, right? He recognized that success isn't just about external factors, it's also about our internal state, our beliefs, and our ability to persevere when things get tough.
And that ties in beautifully with another concept you've highlighted here, courage. It's like Hill is saying, yes, you need faith, but you also need the guts to act on it.
Right. He saw courage as that willingness to face our fears and take action despite them. He believed courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act in spite of it.
He even suggests that fear can be like a signpost, pointing us towards areas where we need to grow, to expand.
Yeah, he saw fear not as something to avoid, but rather as an opportunity for personal development and self-discovery. He believed that by embracing our fears, we unlock a deeper level of courage and resilience.
It's like he's saying, don't let fear paralyze you. Use it as fuel to propel you forward.
Precisely. And this brings us to another important aspect of Hill's philosophy, the importance of self-reflection and personal inventory.
You've highlighted quite a bit on this. He suggests a pretty powerful exercise where we ask ourselves a series of questions about our thoughts, our habits, our behaviors.
It's a process he called self-analysis. Hill believed that by regularly taking stock of our strengths and weaknesses, we can identify areas where we need to improve, make adjustments to our plans and actions.
And he actually provides a list of 28 questions designed to help us examine our thoughts, our beliefs, habits, and actions. It's a powerful tool for personal growth and self-awareness.
It's a reminder that the journey to success isn't just about external achievements, it's also about inner transformation and self-mastery. True success starts from within.
I love that. It's like he's saying, before you can conquer the world, you have to conquer yourself.
Exactly. It's about understanding our own minds, our motivations, our patterns of behavior, so we can align our actions with our goals and create a life that's truly fulfilling.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the power of the subconscious mind, the importance of definite purpose, the magic of the mastermind, and the courage to act in the face of fear.
We've explored the importance of specialized knowledge, the role of imagination in creating success, and the significance of self-reflection and personal inventory.
It's clear that Hill's philosophy is about more than just wishing for wealth. It's about cultivating the right mindset, developing positive habits, and taking consistent action.
It's about aligning our thoughts, our beliefs, and actions with our goals and aspirations, understanding that true success is an inside-out process.
And as we move forward, it's important to remember this is a journey, not a destination. Hill believed that the pursuit of success is a lifelong endeavor, one that requires continuous learning, growth, and self-improvement.
And that's what makes his work so relevant even today, right? It's not about finding a quick fix, a magic formula, but about understanding the principles that govern success, applying them consistently in our own lives.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned so far. What are some of the key takeaways that are resonating with you?
Well, for me, it's the power of the subconscious mind and the importance of aligning our thoughts and beliefs with our goals. Hill's insights into autosuggestion and visualization they're truly fascinating.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I'm also really struck by his emphasis on the mastermind. It's such a powerful reminder that we don't have to achieve our goals alone.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the importance of specialized knowledge. In a world of information overload, it's easy to get lost in the noise. But Hill reminds us that true success often comes from deep expertise in a specific area.
So as we move on to the next part of our deep dive, let's get these principles in mind. We're going to be exploring even more of Hill's insights, including his ideas on developing a money consciousness and the importance of maintaining a positive mental attitude.
And we'll be delving deeper into his practical advice on how to turn these principles into action. It's about taking what we've learned and applying it to our own lives, creating a roadmap for success that is uniquely our own.
I can't wait to continue this journey with you. Stay tuned.
So, one thing that really strikes me about Hill's approach is this emphasis on cultivating a money consciousness. It's not just about, wanting wealth. It's about shifting your whole mindset around money.
Yeah, that's definitely a point you've highlighted a lot. And to be honest, it's something I've always kind of struggled with. I mean, talking about money can feel, taboo almost. Like it's somehow less noble to focus on financial success than, say, artistic achievement or helping others.
Right. But Hill argues that those things aren't mutually exclusive. He saw money as a tool, a resource that can be used for good or for ill. It's the attitude towards money that matters.
So it's not about being greedy. It's about seeing money as a way to achieve your goals, maybe make a positive impact.
Exactly. He believed that our thoughts and beliefs about money directly influence our ability to, attract it. If you're constantly focusing on scarcity, you see wealth as something bad, you're essentially repelling it.
Yeah, that makes sense. He even suggests things like visualizing yourself, handling money, counting it, feeling those positive emotions associated with it.
Right. It's about rewiring your subconscious mind to associate positive feelings with money rather than fear or anxiety. And, this idea of visualizing success isn't just some mystical concept. It's actually backed by modern psychology. I mean, think about athletes. They use visualization techniques all the time to improve their performance.
That's a great point, yeah. So it's like training your brain to see wealth as something achievable, something you deserve.
Precisely. And this ties into another key principle you've highlighted, self-reliance. Hill believed that true success comes from within, not from external circumstances or relying on others.
He talks about, cultivating your own inner strength, trusting your own judgment, taking responsibility for your own life. It's like he's saying, don't wait for someone to hand you success. Go out and create it yourself.
Yeah. He was a big believer in developing your own unique skills and talents, taking calculated risks, and learning from both your successes and your failures.
And he even emphasizes, like, setting boundaries, protecting your time and energy, learning to say no to things that don't align with your goals.
Oh, that's so important, especially in today's world where we're constantly bombarded with distractions. Hill understood that focus is key. You have to be deliberate about directing your energy towards what truly matters.
So it's not just about working hard. It's about working smart, prioritizing those tasks and activities that will really move the needle on your goals.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to one of Hill's most practical pieces of advice. Break down your goals into smaller, manageable steps.
It's like creating a roadmap, right? Instead of looking at this huge, daunting goal, you break it down into smaller milestones. Makes the whole thing feel less overwhelming.
Exactly. And he also stresses the importance of setting deadlines, creating action plans, tracking your progress. It's about turning those abstract desires into concrete actions.
And this is where self-discipline comes in. It's that muscle we need to develop to stay focused, keep moving forward, even when we'd rather, hit the snooze button or scroll through social media.
He saw self-discipline as the bridge between desire and achievement, right? It's about making the choices that align with your goals, even when they're difficult or uncomfortable.
And this is where having a supportive environment can be so crucial. Hill talks about surrounding yourself with, positive influences, people who uplift and inspire you.
Absolutely. He was a big believer in choosing your environment carefully. He knew that the people we associate with, the information we consume, even the physical spaces we inhabit, all of that has a profound impact on our thoughts, beliefs, and actions.
It makes me think about, like, the company I keep,
Yeah.
And whether those people are truly supportive of my goals or if they're maybe unintentionally holding me back.
That's a great point. Hill would definitely encourage you to reflect on that. He believed we should surround ourselves with people who challenge us, support us, inspire us to be our best selves.
And he wasn't just talking about, like, people in our personal lives, right? This applies to our work environments as well.
Exactly. Hill believed that a positive and supportive work environment is essential for success. He encouraged people to find mentors, colleagues, people who could offer guidance, feedback, and encouragement.
It makes me think of that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
That's a perfect way to put it. And it highlights the importance of being mindful of the company we keep, the influences we allow into our lives. Hill believed that our environment has a profound impact on our success.
It's like creating a garden, for your goals to grow in. You need the right soil, the right amount of sunlight, the right nutrients to flourish.
That's a beautiful analogy, and it really emphasizes the importance of being intentional about creating an environment that supports our growth and success.
And Hill didn't stop at just our social and professional environments. He also emphasized the importance of our physical environment, right?
You're right. He believed that our physical surroundings can have a significant impact on our mood, our energy levels, our productivity. He encouraged people to create workspaces that were clean, organized, inspiring.
Yeah. He also talked about the importance of taking care of our physical health through proper sleep, nutrition, and exercise. It's like he understood that our physical well-being is directly linked to our mental and emotional well-being.
Absolutely. He saw health as a foundation for success, not just an afterthought. He believed that a healthy body supports a healthy mind, which then allows us to pursue our goals with greater focus and energy.
It's like that saying, healthy mind, healthy body.
Exactly. And Hill understood that these two are inextricably linked. He encouraged people to prioritize their health, not just for the sake of longevity, but also because it directly impacts their ability to achieve their dreams.
Okay, so we've got the right mindset, the right environment. We're taking care of our physical health. But what about those moments when things get tough,
Yeah.
when we face setbacks or challenges that threaten to derail our progress?
Well, that's where Hill's emphasis on resilience comes in. He believed that life is full of ups and downs, and that the ability to bounce back from adversity is essential for achieving lasting success.
He talks about developing a never-give-up attitude, seeing challenges as opportunities for growth, using setbacks as fuel to propel us forward.
He believed that setbacks are inevitable, but they don't have to define us. He encouraged people to develop the mental and emotional strength to weather the storms and come out stronger on the other side.
And he suggests some pretty practical ways to build resilience, like practicing gratitude, focusing on solutions rather than problems, surrounding ourselves with those supportive relationships.
He also emphasized the importance of learning from our mistakes, seeing setbacks as temporary detours, and never losing sight of our ultimate vision.
It's like he's saying, don't let the bumps in the road discourage you. They're just part of the journey.
Exactly. And he believed that the challenges we overcome often become our greatest strengths. They teach us valuable lessons, force us to grow, and ultimately make us more resilient and resourceful.
It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind and lose sight of the bigger picture. But Hill reminds us that the journey to success is a marathon, not a sprint.
He understood that success takes time, effort, and a willingness to persevere even when things get tough. And he believed that the rewards are well worth the journey.
And one of the most powerful tools we have on this journey, according to Hill, is the power of belief. He believed that what we believe about ourselves and about the world shapes our reality.
He often said, "What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve."
He encouraged people to identify their limiting beliefs, those negative thoughts and assumptions that hold them back, and to replace them with positive and empowering beliefs.
He believed that our beliefs create a self-fulfilling prophecy. If we believe we can achieve something, we're more likely to take the actions necessary to make it happen.
And he suggests that we can reprogram our beliefs through affirmations, visualization, and surrounding ourselves with positive influences. It's about creating a mental environment that supports our goals and aspirations.
It's like planting seeds of success in our minds and then nurturing them with positive thoughts and beliefs.
Okay, so we've got the power of belief, but then we have to act on those beliefs, right? Hill was adamant about the importance of taking action.
He believed that knowledge without action is useless. He encouraged people to be proactive, to take initiative, and to not wait for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions to pursue their goals.
He reminds us that action creates momentum, builds confidence, and opens up new opportunities. It's in the doing that we learn, grow, and make progress.
He suggests breaking down our goals into smaller steps, setting deadlines, and creating action plans to ensure we're consistently moving forward.
He also encourages us to be adaptable, recognizing that plans may need to be adjusted along the way. Life is full of surprises, and we need to be able to roll with the punches and adjust our course as needed.
He saw flexibility not as a weakness, but as a strength. It's about being responsive to changing circumstances and finding creative solutions to unexpected challenges.
And this is where the importance of learning from our mistakes comes in. Hill believed that failures are not the end of the road, but rather valuable learning opportunities.
He encouraged people to see setbacks as feedback, as signals that they need to refine their approach or gather more information.
And he emphasized the importance of not letting fear of failure paralyze us. He believed that taking risks and making mistakes is an essential part of the learning process.
It's like that saying, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Exactly. And Hill understood that the most successful people are often those who have learned the most from their failures. They're the ones who have the courage to try, fail, learn, and try again.
And this brings us to one of Hill's most enduring concepts, the power of persistence. He believed that persistence is the key to overcoming obstacles and achieving lasting success.
He calls it the endurance quality, the ability to keep going even when we face setbacks, rejection, and the temptation to give up. He believed that most people quit too soon, just when they're on the verge of a breakthrough.
He encouraged people to develop a never-give-up attitude, to see challenges as opportunities for growth, and to keep moving forward even when the path ahead seems uncertain.
It's about having that unwavering faith in yourself and your goals, that deep-seated belief that you will eventually succeed no matter what obstacles you encounter along the way.
And this ties in beautifully with another key principle you've highlighted, the importance of having a clear sense of purpose.
Right. He believed that having a strong why, a compelling reason for doing what you do is essential for maintaining motivation and overcoming challenges.
He encourages us to really define our purpose in life, to identify what truly matters to us, and then align our actions with those values and aspirations.
It's like having a North Star to guide us, right?
Yeah.
Something that helps us stay on course when we're feeling lost or uncertain.
Exactly. And Hill believed that a strong sense of purpose provides direction, focus, and that inner drive necessary to persevere through obstacles and achieve meaningful goals.
So it's not just about setting goals. It's about connecting those goals to something bigger than ourselves, something that gives our efforts meaning and significance.
It's about aligning our actions with our values and creating a life that is both successful and fulfilling. And this brings us to another important aspect of Hill's philosophy: the importance of maintaining a positive mental attitude.
This is a concept that comes up again and again in his work. He really believed that our thoughts shape our reality.
He encouraged people to cultivate an optimistic outlook, to focus on solutions rather than problems, and to surround themselves with positive and uplifting influences.
He also stresses the importance of, managing our emotions and not allowing negative thoughts and feelings to control our actions.
He believed that by mastering our emotions, we can become more resilient, adaptable, and effective in pursuing our goals.
And he suggests some really practical ways to cultivate a more positive mental attitude, like practicing gratitude, focusing on our strengths, and reframing challenges as opportunities for growth.
He also encouraged people to engage in activities that bring them joy and to surround themselves with supportive and uplifting relationships. It's about creating a positive and supportive ecosystem for our minds.
And he believed that a positive mental attitude is not just about feeling good, it's about creating a mental environment that attracts success and abundance.
He saw a positive mental attitude as a magnet that attracts the people, the resources, and the opportunities we need to achieve our goals. It's about aligning our thoughts and beliefs with our desires, creating a force that pulls us toward our dreams.
It's like that saying, what you focus on expands. If we focus on negativity and scarcity, that's what we'll attract into our lives. But if we focus on positivity and abundance, that's what we'll create.
And this ties into another important concept you've highlighted: the power of visualization.
Right. Hill was a big believer in using the power of our imagination to create the reality we desire.
He encouraged people to visualize themselves achieving their goals, to create a mental picture of their desired outcomes, and to feel the emotions associated with success.
He believed that by vividly imagining our goals, we imprint those desires on our subconscious minds, which then works tirelessly behind the scenes to bring them into fruition.
And he suggests specific techniques for doing this, like creating vision boards, writing affirmations, and engaging in guided meditations. It's about using the power of our minds to create a blueprint for success.
And this whole idea of visualization is not just some mystical concept, right? It's actually backed by modern science. Athletes, performers, and even business leaders use visualization techniques to improve their performance and achieve their goals.
Exactly. Neuroscience has shown that our brains don't distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. So when we visualize ourselves achieving our goals, our brains fire the same neural pathways as if we were actually experiencing those events in real life.
That's amazing. So it's like training our brains for success through the power of imagination.
Precisely. And Hill understood the power of this technique long before science was able to explain it. He believed that by harnessing the power of visualization, we can create the reality we desire.
And this ties back to his emphasis on the importance of having a clear and compelling vision for our lives. He believed that without a vision, we're like ships without rudders, drifting aimlessly through life.
He encouraged people to take time to clarify their vision, to define their goals, and to create a roadmap for their future.
And he believed that once we have a clear vision, we need to take consistent action towards it. He was a big believer in the power of momentum and the importance of not letting procrastination or fear hold us back.
He encouraged people to break down their goals into smaller steps, set deadlines, and create action plans to ensure they're consistently moving forward.
He also reminded us that setbacks are inevitable, but they don't have to derail us. He encouraged people to develop the resilience to bounce back from challenges and to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead seems uncertain.
And she believed that the rewards of persistence are often worth the effort. He saw success not as a destination, but as a journey of continuous learning, growth, and self-improvement.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I think it's safe to say that Hill's philosophy is about much more than just achieving financial wealth. It's about cultivating the right mindset, developing positive habits, and taking consistent action towards a life that is both successful and fulfilling.
It's about understanding the power of our thoughts, our beliefs, and our actions, and using those tools to create a reality that is aligned with our highest aspirations.
It's about embracing challenges as opportunities for growth, cultivating resilience in the face of adversity, and never giving up on our dreams.
And it's about recognizing that the journey to success is not a solitary one. Hill believed in the power of community, the importance of surrounding ourselves with supportive people, and the value of mentorship and collaboration.
As we move on to the final part of our deep dive, let's keep these principles in mind. We'll be exploring some of Hill's most intriguing concepts, including his ideas on the sixth sense and the importance of ethical conduct in achieving lasting success.
And we'll be leaving you with some thought-provoking questions to consider as you continue on your own journey to unlock the power of Think and Grow Rich in your life. Stay tuned.
Okay, so we're back, ready to wrap up our deep dive into Think and Grow Rich. And wow, we've covered a lot of ground, from like the power of the subconscious mind to the importance of persistence and resilience.
Yeah, and we've explored some of those, more unique concepts Hill presents, like the whole mastermind principle and the power of imagination.
But there's one more piece of the puzzle I think we need to talk about, something that really jumped out at me in your notes. It's Hill's idea of the sixth sense. And that seems a bit more, mystical maybe than some of his other principles.
It definitely has, a more spiritual flavor to it. Hill describes it as this intuitive faculty, a source of inspiration and guidance that kind of goes beyond our rational understanding,
I've always been kind of intrigued by that whole idea of intuition. There have been times even in my own life where I've had like this gut feeling about something and it turns out to be right, even though I can explain it logically.
Yeah, Hill believed we all have access to this sixth sense, but it's often, drowned out by the noise of our everyday lives, the constant chatter of our conscious minds.
So how do we actually tap into it, this mysterious sixth sense? Does Hill give any practical advice for, cultivating it?
Well, he suggests that it can be developed through practices like meditation, reflection, and just a deep desire to connect with this source of higher wisdom, I guess you could say.
It's interesting because in today's world, we're so focused on logic, data, we often dismiss intuition as something unreliable, even frivolous. But Hill seems to say it's a powerful tool for, making decisions, solving problems.
Right. He believed the sixth sense is often the source of those aha moments, those sudden flashes of insight, the kind that lead to breakthroughs, innovation.
So not about ignoring logic or data, but more like integrating those things with our intuition to make more well-rounded decisions.
Exactly. He saw it as a complement to our rational minds, not a replacement.
And that ties in really well with his emphasis on faith, right? It's about trusting that inner voice, even when we can't fully explain it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's recognizing that there's more to success than just logic and hard work. There's an element of intuition, inspiration, maybe even a little bit of magic,
It's funny. When I first picked up Think and Grow Rich, I was mostly drawn to that practical advice, the actionable steps Hill outlines. But the more I get into it, the more I appreciate the spiritual side, that recognition that there's more to life than what we see on the surface.
That's what makes Hill's work so timeless, so enduring, right? He understood that true success isn't just about hitting those external goals, but it's also about cultivating our inner world, developing our character, aligning our actions with our highest values.
Which brings us to another important point you highlighted. Hill's emphasis on ethical conduct. He believed that true success isn't just about, wealth or fame, but about living a life of integrity and purpose.
Yeah, he often said, true success is built on a foundation of honesty, integrity, and fairness. He believed these qualities aren't just morally right, they're essential for long-term success.
In today's world, where we see so many examples of people achieving success through, questionable means, it's refreshing to hear that ethical conduct isn't just a nice-to-have. It's a fundamental principle of true success.
Hill believed that by conducting ourselves with integrity, we build trust, attract the right people, and create a foundation for lasting success that goes way beyond just material wealth.
So it's not just what we achieve, but how we achieve it, right? Aligning our actions with our values, living a life we can actually be proud of.
And that's such a powerful message, and it still resonates, all these decades after Hill first wrote these words.
As we wrap up this whole deep dive into Think and Grow Rich, I'm struck by the breadth, the depth of Hill's philosophy. It's such a comprehensive guide to success, covering everything from the practical to the spiritual, the tangible to the intangible.
It's a good reminder that true success isn't just about, checking off those external goals. It's about developing our character, cultivating our inner world, and living a life of purpose, of meaning.
And the beauty of Hill's work is that it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. He offers a framework, a set of principles that we can, adapt and apply to our own unique circumstances.
Right. It's about taking these principles and making them our own, integrating them into our lives in a way that feels authentic, empowering.
So as you move forward on your journey to unlock the power of Think and Grow Rich, I really encourage you to revisit your notes, reflect on those principles that resonate most deeply with you, and start putting them into action.
Remember, success is not a destination, it's a journey. And the most rewarding part of that journey is often the personal growth and transformation we experience along the way.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've gained some valuable insights, maybe some inspiration that will help you create a life of extraordinary success and fulfillment.